How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It's hump day, and it is July 2nd. That means July 4th is coming up. I tell you what, folks, I've got some great things to talk about. It has hit the fan big time. We've got stupid, we've got dumb and dumber, we've got blind leading the blind, and we're all being screwed over by Washington, D.C. And I hope you've got your seatbelt fastened and you've got food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and means of self-defense. You get your questions down below. And if we're live, well, I'm live, you're live. Well, if you show up later, you're not live. So how do you get live Monday through Friday? You go to X and sign up. You go to thepreparedmind.club and sign up premium, or subscribestar.com and sign up for the premium package. I think it's a whopping $2 a month. Not a bad deal, and it keeps the lights on, the pantry full of Spam and tuna fish, and of course, scotch. Anyways, folks, get your questions if you're live down below. Man will get them ready. We'll make you famous. But for now, I'm going to do my monologue. And down in Los Angeles, folks, the anti-ICE protesters, rioters, complete idiots have shut down a bridge in downtown. Here's my question. How are they not being arrested? They shut down a bridge. Great. Roll them up, throw them in the paddy wagon, take them downstairs. You know, what needs to happen is they're there to protest immigrations and customs enforcement. I say that ICE needs to arrest them all. Just period. You're in the way. You're protesting. We're arresting you. Take them to jail. On suspicion of being an illegal, book them and run background checks to see if their IDs are fake. If they're real, hey, prosecute them for impeding investigations and arrests. And if they're illegals, deport them. The problem ends right there. But, California, my former hometown state, what a beautiful state. But there must be something in the water in the Bay Area and in LA. It makes people retarded. All right, what else have we got rolling? CBS, right, which is a part of Paramount, lied. They edited the 60 Minutes interview with Camel Toes Harris to deceive you and all Americans. So they had to pay a massive $1 million settlement to Trump. And I tell you what, folks, mainstream media, I know I don't watch them. Very little of what they do I watch. Usually it's when they do something stupid and someone else points it out. But they're pointless, they're worthless, they're hopeless, they're hapless. But they should have their broadcasting licenses revoked for shit like this. Now, for me and you, if we get 2 or 3 speeding tickets, we have our licenses revoked. But corporations can continuously, unendingly fuck us all over, lie to us, and no penalty. No penalty whatsoever. Kind of reminds me of the P. Diddy case. It was reported, witnesses said that he had underage children. Let me repeat that. Sean Puff Daddy P. Diddy Combs, sick, perverted pedophile, had underage people for sex. children at his sex parties, and that got dropped. He was found guilty of what? Basically trafficking prostitutes, but he got off on everything else. Surprise? Well, I'm sure all of his Hollyweird buddies, Oprah, and all the other rap scum and Hollywood actors are perfectly happy. And all the Epstein clients, perfectly happy with this type of thing. Oh, by the way, who is in charge of this prosecution? Wasn't it former FBI director? Yeah, that guy, former FBI director James Comey. Yeah, his daughter is in charge of both the P. Diddy case and the Epstein case. Surprise or not? Pretty disgusting. I want to know what you guys are thinking about today. What's on your mind? Get them into the questions. Now, speaking of surprise or not surprised, get this. In Germany, sexual assaults and violent fighting by migrants are becoming a massive problem at pools, swimming pools. Multiculturalism, in other words, accepting illegal immigrants, accepting people who are asylum seekers into your country who have no idea, don't care about the language, the laws, the culture, or anything. They're just there to fuck people over. And by the way, I said that was Germany, but New York City, Texas, and all of America is next to suffer this type of behavior on an increasing scale as we move forward, unless we can get them the hell out of our country. And I'm going to tell you what, ICE is scaring them to death. Immigrations, Customs Enforcement, Department of Homeland Security, Border Patrol, law enforcement everywhere has them scared to death. But that is not good enough. You see, here's something, and I have to say this is my caveat extraordinaire. I am not suggesting anyone do anything violent or illegal or harmful or dangerous. But when illegals or legal migrants who refuse to accept our language, our laws, our culture, and they start threatening, assaulting, harassing, or intimidating Americans, they need to have, I think, to correct their behavior, a physical altercation that teaches them a lesson. Now, see, police can't do that. They can only see a crime and then arrest. But you, my friends, are in a special type of position. I don't have to respect an illegal. I don't have to respect their rights if they violate mine or someone else. I have a right and a duty, if I wish, to protect others from great bodily harm and injury. It's going to happen, folks. That is what is going to stop these fuckheads. Cowering to them? No. Bending the knee? How did that fucking work out? Waving their flag? No, thank you. Right? We need to stomp them. That's how problems get solved. Whew. It's a heck of a day out there, folks. I sure hope you've been having a good day. Hump Day. Oh, Friday is Independence Day, July 4th. Independence Day is the day that American colonists signed a declaration, the Declaration of Independence, telling the king, the government. See, it doesn't matter whether you got a bullshit democracy or a collapsed republic, which is what we have. It is a collapsed republic, or a king or a dictator or a fucking tyrant off the hook. At some point, illegal is illegal. Violating our rights is violating our rights. And the only response is to declare ourselves independent of it not accountable to it, and violently respond to them. July 4th is that day that Americans remember. We told the king to go fuck himself. This is our country. We have rights. You are merely the administrator, whether you're king or tyrant or president or what have you. When the government doesn't like things, what do? What does government do to its own people when it doesn't like things? They arrest us. Hell, they'll even throw you in jail and beat the shit out of you. Just ask the J6 prisoners who were beaten. Some of them lost eyes. They were put in horrific conditions with sewage in their cells, given rotten food with bugs in it, no legal representation, no medical care. That's what government thinks of you. Government only understands violence, folks. They wanted to punish the J6ers, and that's what they did. They violated the fuck out of the 7th Amendment, which is the prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. They don't give a fuck. And when there's another country, what does the government do? Well, they bomb the living shit out of them. They assassinate their leaders, military leaders, political leaders, etc. Government knows and understands that violence solves problems. Might makes right. But you and I, we're supposed to, don't do anything. Well, you can go to court and challenge them. Right. That's like going to the bully's father and mother and saying, your son just beat the shit out of me. I want you to do something about it. And they're like, right. Yeah. We'll tell him to stop doing it, okay? You go away. Right? You get too loud, the parents beat the shit out of you too. You get more. So if government understands might makes right, if government understands and uses violence to get what it wants, why should I or you or any of us Americans think any differently than government? Once again, I'm not calling for insurrection, nor am I suggesting violence. It's more of a philosophical discussion, a look. Right? That's what we need to do, is look at what government does. Seems to work, does it not? Seems to work. At some point, we're going to test that. You want to? Let me put it to you this way. How much do you want to bet that if you were to catch a politician, a judge, and if you could anonymously have your way with them, commit any level of violence against them with impunity, how much do you think they would beg you to stop? How much do you think they would be scared? How scared would they be? How much would they promise to not do anything bad, right? Of course, because they're just humans. But when they're sitting behind a bench wearing their pretty black dresses and their little wooden hammers, or hiding behind their badge, or hiding behind their political title, when they have power and they're not being directly threatened, they are some tough motherfuckers, are they not? There's some tough motherfuckers. Very frustrating. Anyways, folks, it's hump day. It's Wednesday. Get your comments down below into Mr. O-Man. And we've got some more stuff going on. Trump has told Ukraine, arms shipments, time out for you. Right? Time out for you. Because United States military readiness is our priority, not supplying weapons to Ukraine. Now, why did this occur? Biden gave away so much of our military armament and supplies to Ukraine, to Zelensky, that the military is low. And I really do believe that our military, our security in this country is more important than Europe trying to start a nuclear World War III with Russia. I say good move, Mr. President. And speaking of Mr. President, I heard quite a funny nickname for him today. Essentially, I think it was Tom Luongo did an interview, and he is a political wonk, right? He's a very good analyst when it comes to all things politics. But he said, he's making fun of Trump sycophants. And he was just basically letting him know the world is not a safe place. So he called Trump Orange Jesus. You guys thinking that, Trump's going to fix everything. He's obviously it's not happening. Not that Trump doesn't want to fix things, but because the Democrats are in his way. The Republicans are in his way. The courts are in his way. And they're going to continue to do all they can. And in my opinion, this is up to Trump to fix. I can't fix it. You can't fix it. We can't fix it. But what we can do is we can get a hold of Trump at whitehouse.gov. Right? www.whitehouse.gov. Go there, send a message to the president and tell him we support him throwing judges in jail. We support him throwing illegals in alligator Alcatraz. Oh, that is continuing to be a fun thing. We support him throwing corrupt politicians in prison. And I don't care. You know what? I would actually feel better about our government, our country, our way of life, and the world if half of Washington, D.C. was locked up. Half of the Congress, half of the Senate, the federal judges, the bureaucracy, if half of them were locked up for being, money laundering, bribing, pedophile scum, it'd be great if they arrested half of them. They'd be like, well, we're not going to do anything in government until we have special elections to replace these people. And here's the problem, though, with replacing them. Do you think when a congressman or a senator quits, that everyone in the state looks around and goes, oh, I don't want to do this. Who wants to do this? And just some regular Joe steps up all the time? No, it's kind of like baseball, right? You got high school baseball, then college baseball, and then you've got the pro league, right? So these little local politicians start out. They're like high school baseball players. And after a couple of years, they progress past that. They move up to the state level, assemblymen or senators. And then when someone either resigns or they feel like they've got enough political capital, they run for Congress in D.C. or the Senate. The thing is when they were back at the state level and the local level, they were just as big a scumbags as the people that are quitting in D.C. They're no better, folks. They're just a new name and a new face committing the same old fucking crimes. They got their hand out looking for money. They're scum. They're all fucking scum. It is rare to get a fighter in Congress or in the Senate that actually loves this country and cares about me and you. Okay, well, I know Trump isn't Jesus, and I never thought he was, but I was hoping he would have more oomph. Well, does everyone else remember, by the way? I think it was just last week. The Supreme Court said all of these district judges, they're nobodies. They can't tell the president what he can and can't do. They have no say over his executive authority. Well, that's what I thought I heard. But once again, a federal judge, another Obama appointee, no less, looked at Trump's policy of keeping illegals from moving into the asylum category. So they're here illegally, and then they're like, oh, no, I'm seeking political asylum, right? So this Trump was like, nope, sorry, fuck you, you're gone. right? He wants to bar illegals from seeking asylum. Why? Well, John, what if they're legitimately seeking asylum? Well, the first thing they did was come to America and violate our fucking laws. They're here illegally. They skipped all the steps that every other legitimate immigrant had to take to get here. So that's why they're barred. They have now demonstrated a willingness to disobey the law, to violate the law. They have criminal fucking tendencies. So this Obama judge says he's going to block Trump's policy, right? Hasn't this been settled by the Supreme Court of the United States? This decision is beyond district court's purview, right? It's a law enforcement executive authority issue from the president, not some faggoty judge that Obama appointed. And by the way, Stephen Miller, who's basically Trump's bulldog, I think he still has the position in the administration of deputy chief of staff. And what he said about this is this judge, this ass-licking judge, is trying to circumvent the Supreme Court ruling on nationwide injunctions. And he said this Marxist judge, this is Stephen Miller, by the way, this Marxist judge has declared that all potential future illegal aliens on foreign soil, which is, huge part of the planet, they're part of a protected global class that's entitled to admission in the United States. That's just it. Just because they claim asylum status, all of a sudden they can be here illegally. And we have to let them in. It's fucking ridiculous. It's not the way it works, Judge. Right? He should pound sand and go make $20 the hard way at the Greyhound bus station. That's really what these people are good for, folks. Really, 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 and really. And now, this morning I talked about UPenn, University of Pennsylvania. Right? They were supposed to, apologize for making women in their sports compete against men. Well, they've decided, UPenn has, since I did that Zero Dark 30 broadcast, they decided to use a chicken shit, sneaky-assed, underhanded, plastic banana, good time, rock and roll loophole. And you know what it was? Right? Because at the time that Leah Thomas was competing, it was allowed under the rules. So they want to continue to keep Leah Thomas's records on the books, right? In women's swimming. But still, even though they're going to try and keep Leah Thomas in the books, UPenn is going to be sending independent apologies to every single female athlete who was forced to compete against a man. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the University of Pennsylvania can eat a bag of dicks, right, for playing this fucking game. As far as I'm concerned, if they leave because Leah Thomas has a dick. Leah Thomas has testicles. Small, but they're there. It's a man. He should not be in a woman's scoreboard, record book, or anything. Statistics, nothing. The guy is an asshole. He would wag his genitals at women in the locker room. That's what I heard. That's what was reported by women who didn't like him walking around naked with his dick hanging out in front of him. And he bragged about how he beat them so badly, right? And women are crying over this, literally crying, brought to tears, because it is so fucking unfair. So fuck UPenn for playing the game. And I think the Trump administration should require that UPenn goes all the way, removes everything out of the record books or give up the funding. You see, that's why they bent to Trump and bent to the administration. It is a federal administrative mandate that, nope, you don't get funding. You don't get any money. And I don't know why the federal government needs to give colleges money at all anyways. Don't they get enough fucking money for books, tuition, and housing and everything else? Colleges. Colleges charge an arm and a fucking leg that most graduates can't pay back. Okay, man, put that back up there. What was that? Oh, it was a girl dick. Yeah. But John, right? It's not a girl dick. See, girls don't have dicks. I know Uman is joking. Girls don't have dicks, so it can't be a girl dick. Women do not have testicles, so they can't be female testicles. These fucking people won't go away. These retarded, literally retarded sons of bitches. They're still on social media. They're still pushing it out there that hospitals, get this, hospitals should be required to give trans men pap smears. They don't have ovaries. They don't have fallopian tubes. They don't have a uterus. They don't even have vaginas. And if they did have a vagina, it's not a real vagina. It is their dick turned inside out and stuffed inside of them. That's what they've got. These fucking people are a bunch of weirdos, and they're not going away as fast as we want them to. So keep doing what you do. All right, we're almost to the second half, which is your half of the show, folks. Once again, the preparedmind.club, CLUB. That is your prepping superstore. I'm going to read this next article to you, and you can think. I want to know, what do you think is going to happen? John Ratcliffe, government employee, Trump administration, top level, right, has declassified CIA documents revealing that James Comey, John Brennan, and Testicle Clapper purposefully corrupted, interfered with, added information to the Russia-Trump collusion investigation. They included knowingly the Steele dossier, even though it was discredited, they knew it was fake, it was bullshit. They did it to take down Trump. They knew it was phony baloney bullshit. Period. Why are government agents allowed to violate laws without consequence? Who? Who will change this bullshit if Trump doesn't? And Trump hasn't. Who has the balls and the authority? Nobody. Nobody in D.C. You see, that's just it. You have to have both the authority and the fucking balls to do it. Or spine or backbone or guts, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to disqualify any women out there for not having balls. But, you know, I roll through a stop sign, ticket. I do 10 miles over the speed limit, ticket. I do 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, I lose my license. In Florida, if I have a drink of alcohol, go to drive home, and someone runs into me because I've had a drink, I lose my license, even if it's not my fault. Right? The rules for us, you and me, are insanely fucking strict. If you question, if you refuse to submit to what I consider to be unconstitutional search and seizures, breathalyzer tests, whatever, right? They throw the fucking book at you. They give you the maximum penalty. So you either do what they say and violate your own rights. The whole system is fucked, folks. It's not here to protect you. It's here to enrich the powerful. And yeah, Trump isn't fixing things. He is not Orange Jesus. Sadly, unfortunately, he's not. So who does that leave? It leaves me and it leaves you. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Well, I know chance favors the prepared mind, so I'm fully prepped. And I'm waiting for shit to get nasty. And there's going to be a type of justice, I feel, that everyone is going to approve of. For now, though, let's go to the inner circle. It is your time, your shot, your chance to set the record straight, share with the world your thoughts. Let's do it. Kapow. All right, Mr. Ooman, let's have some fun. When we get closer to the end of the show, we're going to hit on some brand new news. I know there's going to be brand new news. Ooman says, if you got the balls, you'll never get the authority. I can speak to that from local politics. I had the head of a utility district, a bureaucrat, and he threatened my property with eminent domain, that he was going to run a transmission corridor through my property. So I had the balls to confront him and got him fired. Others joined. I wasn't the only one, but I had the balls. Then I had the balls to go up and tell the county supervisors that several of them were in violation of the law. One of them was not living. His primary residence wasn't in the district that he was representing. Illegal. He resigned a day later after I talked to the district attorney. I had the balls to go after others and say, hey, look, right, you person here, your spouse is on this board. You cannot make a decision about that board and that board member because that's your spouse. That's fucking nepotism. Whoosh. They recused themselves. But when it came time to put me in that board, in that utility district, to continue to clean up the bullshit, Ooman's right. They did not give me the authority. They picked one of their buddies. That's how politics works. You know, if you got balls, you can make some shit change. But they won't turn around and give you the authority because the rest of them want to continue playing the fucking game. And that was when I said, you know what? Fuck politics. I'm going to take care of me. And I'll still fight the fight. But yeah, if you've got the balls, they won't give you the authority. And we've seen that, right? We've seen it with, Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, agree or disagree with his bullshit fighting with Trump. I don't give a fuck. The guy has balls. He put down 44 billion smackaroos to buy Twitter and then say free speech is free. Right? And he did a good job of freeing up free speech on that social media platform. Right? He stood up to the European Union and everything else. But when it came to DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, he showed how trillions of our dollars, trillions, not thousands, not millions or even billions, trillions of dollars are being pissed away by our government. And he wanted something done. He was convinced that he found criminal behavior, and I'm convinced too. He even came out and said, there's going to be arrests, big level arrests tomorrow. Well, the arrest never showed up. I'm sorry, the arrest never happened. And ultimately, Elon Musk was pushed out. His balls were too big. His balls were too big. And you know what? Feel bad for the guy. He's trying to do his best, trying to do what's needed, trying to do what's right. That's what happens. You get shit on for it. All right. Anyways, interesting topic. Thank you, Mr. Ooman, for revisiting that and allowing me to share an anecdotal story. Very good. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it's Diving Frog. He says, what's going on with this big, beautiful bill of Trump's? I'm not fully sure I understand any of it. Okay, so Congress, or rather the House of Representatives, they passed their version of the BBB, which is stupid because that's the same letters that Biden had. Build Back Better. Almost makes me feel like we're dealing with Sesame Street on Capitol Hill. In any event, so they passed it. They sent it over to the Senate. The Senate made some changes. They finally voted on it and got it passed, and that was yesterday with Vice President Vance being the tie-breaking vote. I really wish he had done a lot more. I really wish he had been turned loose to act as the president of the Senate. Fire that fucking retarded whore of a parliamentarian. Put everything back in the BBB and then send it up to the president. But because they changed it some, it's got to go back to Congress or the House of Representatives. They've got to pass their version. You see, they can't each send independent bills that are different. They have to agree on the bill ultimately, and then it goes to the president. That's why they have these conference committees, these joint sessions where they work on shit, and then they both go, okay, and they go back, and that's what's going on. Understanding it, it is a pork-filled nightmare of a fucking law, or bill, if you will, to fund the government. Cuts? Hardly. Right now, they're trying to say, well, all the tariffs, and the government's collected a big number on tariffs, folks. Good. Inflation is continuing to go down. Good. But overspending, not a balanced budget. And we'll never get a balanced budget amendment out of Congress and the Senate. We'll never get line item veto for the president. It'd be great if they sent that big, beautiful bill to him and he just lined out all the cuts, lined out all the pork and left all the cuts. Then it'd be a good thing. But Congress will not give the president line item veto. And Congress won't balance the budget. So basically, we're going to continue to get fucked over. And by the way, the United States dollar has lost over 12% of its, purchasing power relative to other currencies since Trump took office. He needs a weaker dollar. He's getting the weaker dollar. But I don't think that it's all Trump's idea. I just think that it's going down. They have screwed the system up so much. Washington, the Democrats, the deep state, Trump, they've all screwed it up. It's going to come crashing down. I sure hope you are prepared for that inevitability. How bad it's going to be, I don't know. Some people are saying it's going to be worse than 2008. Some people saying it's going to be worse than 1929. Don't know. All I know is it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Okay, let's continue if we shall. Mr. Uman, what do we want to discuss next? It's James Floyd. And he says, it's like the leftist criminals are a protected class. Yeah, no shit, huh? Yeah, they are a protected class. And leftist Republicans as well. Left-wing Republicans, rhino Republicans, middle-of-the-road Republicans, moderate Republicans. Nope. They are all traitors. All of them. They know what the Constitution is. They know what the laws are, and they ignore them. Whether it's violating our rights, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, right? They don't give a fuck. They want to be pedophiles, they let themselves off. I mean, Congress has tried passing legislation that would make pedophilia legal. Supreme Court justices have held the opinion that, well, girls down to the age of 12, should be able to have sex with whoever they wanted at any age level. Yeah, that would be that little old nasty grizzly witch. Her name is eluding me at the moment. She just died. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And what a middle name, Bader. What kind of fucking name is that anyways? I mean, it rhymes with Vader, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But these are some sick fucking people. They're protected. They're protecting each other. Who put James Comey's daughter in charge of the P. Diddy case? I need to do the Johnny Carson thing with a fucking envelope, right? Here we go. Right? Who was it? Pam Bondi. Who put James Comey's daughter in charge of the Epstein case? Pam Bondi. Who said that she has the Epstein files and she'll release them right away? Pam Bondi. Who says she doesn't have any of them and they're lost? Pam Bondi. Who says there's a truckload of them in New York City? Pam Bondi. Who says they got to go through them and protect the innocent? Pam Bondi. And then doesn't release anything. To this fucking day, that rotten bitch. No respect, folks. I would like to be able to say, I respect the Attorney General. I respect the FBI Director. Nope. No way. No way in hell can I respect those disgusting, filthy people. Because they don't care about us. They don't care about our children. They don't care about our country. All they care about is enriching themselves and fucking us over. That's it. That's it. Thank you, James. Mr. Ooman, let's have some fun. Who's up next? And we got Diving Frog. And he says, I see where Trump is accused of executing illegals by throwing them out of planes and boats into the ocean. Hell, sharks got to eat too. Remember when that lie came out? This is great. Remember when all the Democrat idiots out there said, because of all of the slaves that were thrown overboard by slave traders, sharks have been permanently changed their feeding routes and feeding because they used to follow boats to eat slaves that were thrown overboard. And yeah, now literally all over the internet, social media, videos of liberal Democrat idiots saying that Trump is taking illegals out over the ocean in helicopters and throwing them out into the ocean. And Trump is putting them on cargo planes, like the C-130 or maybe the C-5 Galaxy, and throwing them out and feeding them to the sharks. You know who's most pissed about that? The fucking alligators. They were told that Alligator Alcatraz was their domain, that they were going to be fed all of these illegals, and they're giving them to the sharks. Alligators have rights too, folks. They have a right to eat. In fact, sharks aren't even Americans. They live offshore. Alligators, on the other hand, were born here and raised in America. They have first right of refusal over eating illegals. Doesn't everyone know that? It's well-established case law in Alligator versus U.S. 2003. It was decided. Alligators have a right to eat anybody they want. Anyways, I know I'm full of shit. These fucking people are that stupid and demented, folks. Reality, gone. Logic, gone. Reason never existed. These fucking people live in a type of fantasy land. That the way I see it, right? Now, what I'm guessing, Mr. Diving Frog, is that the sharks have a very powerful lobby, some very powerful attorneys in Washington, D.C., and they preempted the alligators And by the way, down in the swamps, they have Burmese pythons as well. Apparently, during a very large storm in Florida years back, a snake farm got destroyed, and a bunch of these fucking snakes escaped into the jungle. And they're immensely huge fucking snakes. And there's a bounty on them. They're illegal snakes. So because they're illegal snakes, they're being very quiet about this whole eating illegals thing. I mean, they're down there, but they get caught, they could get fed to the sharks. Oh, I tell you. Very confusing these days. Very confusing. I hope you're prepared, folks. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, your plan. Get it together. All right. Thank you, Diving Frog. That was a fun little teaser. And Newman says, my favorite is the new nickname for the Florida jail, a.k.a. illegal processing center, where there's one road in and a plane ride out. There's no going back into America. Yeah, they're calling it Alligator Auschwitz. Well, Trump, Kristi Noem, Governor Ron DeSantis, they toured the Alligator Auschwitz, and I did not see any containers of Zyklon B gas, the gas reportedly used to kill prisoners in the internment camps. I didn't see any ovens, not even a pizza oven. Nope, didn't see any ovens. I didn't see any pits where they're throwing all of the dead bodies into. But I guess that's what the alligator thing is. Anyways, Alligator Auschwitz. I think that's great. I think that's even better than Alcatraz, because it brings up the concept of the concentration camps of World War II that were run by Germany and all of the other countries that were there. Folks, the truth. Didn't we hear at some point that the truth will set you free? Right, that you're supposed to shout the truth from the rooftops, mountaintops. Well, the truth will get your ass in some big fucking trouble. The Holocaust is a fucking sham, and it's a lie. Right? What they said didn't happen. Bad things happened. People went to concentration camps. They died, but it's all the numbers of people killed. Why is it that reports are there weren't even 6 million Jews in Germany, much less all of Europe in World War II? So how could 6 million Jews die? But they also reported after World War I, not World War II, but World War I, that 6 million Jews had lost their lives in that war. It's a sham, but it's going to continue to bring things up, right? The truth needs to come out. But who really owns the truth? Who controls the truth? The mainstream media? The politicians? In Europe, if you're a Holocaust denier, that's a crime. In America, we have free speech, so you can say what you want, but people are going to think you're a wacko or you're crazy. You shouldn't question that reality. Why not? You should question all reality. Right? Question all reality. That's what I do all the time. It'll take you into some rabbit holes, right? It'll take you in some weird places. But questioning reality typically is a good exercise. At the very least, for you to realize that me, you, any of us, man, we don't know everything, and that there's always something to learn. In any event, Alligator Auschwitz, okay then. I don't think one of them is enough. I think Louisiana needs an Alligator Auschwitz. I think Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, I think they all need an Alligator Auschwitz. Texas needs two, because everything's big in Texas. You bet. We don't have enough of them. Whether it's Alcatraz or Auschwitz, as long as it scares illegals and keeps them from coming back in our country and provides us with a way to protect ourselves against these foreigners. And don't forget, the terrorists are here. I really believe July 4th, 2 days from now, we're going to see terrorism hit in America. And right now, it's very, very quiet. Too quiet. I think they're going to come after us. I really do. Ah, boy, I tell you. Mr. Uman, who's next? We got Mikey G. He says, I'm telling you, it's the mad cow syndrome from the JJJ, the Jim Jones juice. That's Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson. Remember those people? All those drug companies? By the way, those drug companies are fighting tooth and nail to keep the government from allowing the people to sue them. I don't know why they should be given a fucking pass. I don't know why they should be immune from being held accountable for what they did, for how they lied. But Mikey, I agree with you 100%. Mad cow disease or mad cow syndrome, if you will, is the consequence or result of spike proteins in the brain shredding the brain. It's turning it into looks like Swiss cheese or a sponge. I think they call it spongiform something or another. But mad cow disease is when the cow's brain is being eaten up, hollowed out by spike proteins that are developed in their bodies. Makes their brains rot, literally. They start acting idiotic. They walk in circles. They just lay down. Mad cow disease. Yeah. So all of these leftists who went out and got the Jim Jones juice and then went out and got juice booster after juice booster after juice booster, wanting everyone to know they should have gotten badges of stupidity to wear around to show everybody just how stupid they are. Yeah, I think that their brains are rotting because they are becoming more ludicrous. And that's not a good thing. They're becoming more retarded by the day. But that also makes them dangerous. It makes them zombie-like. Now, these same people, mad cow syndrome Democrats, what did they do when you didn't get the Jim Jones juice? Well, they said that you should be kicked out of school. You should be fired. You shouldn't be able to have any social benefit. You shouldn't be able to go to the store or enjoy parks, beaches, recreation, or anything else, right? In fact, you should be thrown in a prison camp, a concentration camp for refusing and putting everyone else at risk. Remember that shit? Fucking Democrats. Pieces of shit. They wanted to punish us. So now that they're getting sick, they've got heart problems, lung problems, they're getting brain problems, neurological disorders. They're mentally malfunctioning. And guess who they're going to blame? They've already blamed you, me, Uman. They've already done that. They said that we didn't warn them enough. We didn't fight hard enough to convince them not to take the Jim Jones juice. It's our fault that they have health issues. Zombies, folks. They're fucking zombies up here. All right. That's a good one. Mr. Uman, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it's not a bot. H. Lynn, who says, Pennsylvania News said a new variant of COVID-19 is around. It could be under a rock, hiding in the bushes. It could It could be behind a tree waiting to jump you. Right? It's around, so stay safe while celebrating July 4th in crowds. There it is, folks. Once again, some magical disease you're all supposed to be afraid of that, well, COVID, a cold. Go to medical books. Look up coronavirus. It's common cold. But what happened in September of 2019, folks? Had a huge banking crisis. The banking system failed. The reverse repo market, everything fucking failed. That's actually when shit hits the fan started. But it wasn't until the lockdowns that I declared it. So they fucked up the banking system, which, by the way, is failing again. The overnight repo market is now getting bailed out again. And right on cue, they want to push another pandemic on us. Oh, by the way, if you remember, while we were all locked down, the BLM maggots, the Black Lives maggots, and Antifa, the Antifucks were out there joining together in crowds, protesting during the day and during the night. They were safe. Apparently, if you're a racist piece of shit, COVID-19 doesn't bother you. But if you're an American celebrating July 4th, Independence Day, stay away from crowds. It's all propaganda. It's all hype. It's paranoid delusions of those in authority that want us to succumb and give up our lives. Fuck it. Don't give them what they want, folks. Do what you want. Be an American. Be free. Thank you, H. Lynn, very much. Mr. Uman, we got some more. I know we got just a few, and it's, yes, Uman himself. He says the U.S. government is preparing. Preparing for what? Preparing to breed billions of flies and dump them out of airplanes over Mexico and southern Texas to fight a flesh-eating maggot. What could possibly go wrong? Wow. Flesh-eating maggots, huh? So the way to do that is to make more maggots. What has government done correctly? How about education? Have they done education correctly? No, they fucked that all up. How about our health? Our country is in worse shape than ever to get men who are in good enough shape to join the military. Very difficult to get people who are in good shape. Health is bad. How about our legal system? How about our financial system? Everything's fucked up, but we can count on the government to fix this. Nope, not going to happen. They've fucked everything up so badly. Oh, so badly. Yep. Unbelievable what's going on. The battle's on, folks. The left is not giving up. They're losers, and they're losing their mind, but they're not giving up. They're not giving up. So please get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Your plan. Wake up friends, family, co-workers. Share the internet address. Share it with the share button. Thumbs up and be a subscriber, of course. That's the way this works, folks. And I want to thank you for helping carry the message. And one more time, please write President Trump at whitehouse.gov, which is a G-O-V, whitehouse.gov. Tell him what he needs to do. He needs your help. Tell him what to do. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 0 Dark 30, July 3rd. Until then, adios, amigos.